County has become a hotspot in the state because of all it has to offer to visitors and residents alike, but it also has quite a bit of interesting history too. Jessica Stavros, Deputy Director of the Kentucky Historical Society, has a few tidbits to share. We always love when we get some Kentucky history on Great Day Live. Of course, we do that every single Tuesday. But Jessica, you have Shelby County history today.
Yes. Well, I didn't know a whole lot about Shelby County until I started working with the Kentucky Historical Society, and it's fascinating to me because it's one of those places that I've always driven through, but never really knew a lot about. So getting to know it has been really interesting. One of the first things to know about Shelby County as a whole and Shelbyville is that originally it's the land of the Shawnee. The Shawnee Indians had great settlements there, and there were a lot of women and children and villages and families, and also a great deal of warriors that were there. So until about the 1780s, it was predominantly Shawnee Indians, and then Squire Boone would come in 1780s. This is brother of Daniel Boone. And the Shawnee and the Boone brothers, especially through Painted Stone Station and a place called Long Run Creek, they did have several skirmishes between them until eventually the turn of the 19th century when the Indians were all run out of there. So I always think not too long ago, it was completely Indian land, which really says something to the resources that were there. There's the Jephthah Knob and Jephthah Creek. That Jephthah is an Indian word for the knob that they would use as kind of a lookout point. So it says a lot about the resources that are in Shelby County. It's such a stronghold for the Native communities there. The water, the game, the life, the plants.
And that is fascinating. What else should we know about Shelby County history?
Well, Shelby County is also home to one of the leading African American historical figures for our region. It's the home of Reverend Elijah Mars. Elijah Mars is a remarkable person. And of course, this is February, Black History Month. But Elijah is one of those stories that we tell all year round. He was enslaved on a plantation to a family in Shelby County around Connor Station. Now, as a slave, he was taught to read, which is generally pretty unheard of. And because he could read, he was trusted to travel to the post office in Simpsonville. He later said that he couldn't write and that writing was something he had to steal for himself. That was something in his education he had to learn secretly on his own. And remember, literacy among the enslaved meant autonomy. And that was really something they tried to prevent against. So on the way to the post office in Simpsonville one time, he learns that you could, as a person of color who was enslaved in Kentucky, join the Union Army. And so he gathered this small group, a couple dozen men, about 26 or 27 or so, and they snuck out in the middle of the night and ran away on foot and arrived in Louisville about 8 a.m. to the Union office and joined the Union Army. And they formed what was known as the 5th United States Colored Cavalry. And they were part of the United States Colored Troops. By the end of this jaunt, about 300 formerly enslaved men from Shelby County alone were part of this cavalry. After the Civil War, he really is very successful in contributing to businesses and benevolent ideas, churches, schools, businesses in Drewsville, which is an African-American community in Shelbyville. Eventually, he becomes a reverend. He's one of the first pastors at Beargrass Baptist Church on Payne Street in Louisville. And he helps found a school in the 1870s known as the Kentucky Normal Theological Institute. And we would know this school now as Simmons College, Simmons University.
Now, Jessica, every Tuesday, it's Kentucky Treasures Tuesday. We love partnering with the Kentucky Historical Society. And I just have to, ask, as Deputy Director, what is it? I'm here, thankfully, off screen going the whole time. because just knowing the richness of our history in all, I mean, in all manner, the highs, the lows, all of that's important. What is that like for you to consistently learn so much on a daily basis?
Well, that's a really great question, Angie, and I'm so glad you asked it. One thing that we need to all realize as citizens, as people in our communities, is that we should never stop learning, especially about our history. In this place in particular, our little spot on this huge river is full of dynamic and unique people that changed the world and changed our lives. It's important to know where we come from. We do Kentucky History Treasures because it connects us to the objects around us. Um, and, not everyone knows what the objects are, but a lot of times history can live within something that people need to be able to tangibly touch and see. Another one of our programs that's getting to premiere right here on this network is our Kentucky Ancestors Town Hall program. And that's a program about genealogy discovery. And that's about finding out where we come from. And our family stories are so important to know what kind of culture we live in or what kind of culture we can embrace, how to instill resilience or be inspired by the experiences of others. It's really about compassion and learning who we are as a person. So for me, it's so exciting to know that there are a million ways the United States and the world can be changed by someone right here in our own backyard. Because those people are here right now. They're little kids taking their NTI or running around in the streets who need these stories to grow up and change the world. Louisville and the Shelby County in Kentucky are never going to stop creating the next generation of leaders. And that's where we look to the past to be inspired by it. I know I am.
Well, we're not only falling in love with Shelby County today, but certainly with Kentucky history as well. Jessica, thank you so much. And
Always.
like we've said, you can learn more Kentucky history every Tuesday right here on Great Day Live, but don't wait until then. Visit history.ky.gov today.